The sponsor of my stream and podcast is DistroKid. If you want 10% off on your first subscription with DistroKid, release your music to the world on every major music platform. Make sure to go to my website, andrewvanzark.com, and click on the discount link under the tab of DistroKid.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
Welcome to the Andrew Van Zark podcast.
Now you're listening with power. This is a spoiler warning.
Well, I didn't see that coming.
If you don't like spoilers, make sure to tune out.
Please hang up and try again.
But if you know what we're talking about, make sure to leave me a message on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or tune into my next live show at twitch.tv/AndrewVanZark and leave me a message there on the chat. So let's get started and listen at your own risk. Welcome to the Andrew Van Zark podcast here on the Planet X radio station, where we discuss everything that has to do with Star Wars on your Star Wars hub. So the question is, who are the Pykes? This is written by Kelly Knox. Explore the inner workings of one of the galaxy's most notorious crime syndicates. Very few groups in the galaxy can intimidate a Jedi just with the utterance of their name, and the Pykes are one of them. The Syndicate made a leap from Star Wars The Clone Wars to the big screen in Solo, a Star Wars story, and they haven't stopped looking for their next profitable opportunity since. Let's meet the underworld gang that cross paths and weapons with Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, Ahsoka Tano, Han Solo, Chewbacca, and Boba Fett. But before, a word from our sponsor.
Andrew Van Zark. Andrew Van Zark. Andrew Van Zark. Andrew Van Zark. Andrew Van Zark.
The sponsor of my stream and podcast is DistroKid. If you want 10% off on your first subscription with DistroKid, release your music to the world on every major music platform. Make sure to go to my website, andrewvanzark.com, and click on the discount link under the tab of DistroKid. And we're back. So behind the scenes, like most things in Star Wars, the Pykes Syndicate has an extraordinary origin story. Their creation began in 2007 with a sketch concept artist by David Hobbins. George Lucas plucked the design out of dozens. This one in particular, a design from an alien Jedi to represent Pykes. Phil Soktang wrote in the Art of Solo, a Star Wars story, asking for eye stalks that came out of his bulbous head to be removed and replaced by what were then its nostrils, giving it an odd fish-like appearance. The Pykes head and costume design was honed in mid-2009 by Star Wars comics book and concept artist Doug Weathley. Obadiah, aspects of Kiesel and Pykes Syndicate roles in the spice trade were all delineated and designed at that time as well. The Pykes were finally seen in the galaxy far, far away in 2013, the Clone Wars episode Eminence. In the forbidden story, the Pykes seized the chance to join forces with Death Watch and Maul in the Shadows Collective as they planned their move against Mandalore's Duchess Satins. Now you're listening with power. The sponsor of my stream and podcast is DistroKid. If you want 10% off on your first subscription with DistroKid, release your music to the world on every major music platform. Make sure to go to my website, andrewvanzark.com, and click on the discount link under the tab of DistroKid. We're talking about who are the Pykes, and the Pykes are some traitors that intimidate many characters on the Star Wars universe. They are the fish-looking characters that you see in the Bad Batch and in the Clone Wars and in the Book of Boba Fett. The Pykes' first live-action appearance was in 2018, featured film Solo, a Star Wars story, through a sickly and misshapen representative named Quite Hostile, and they had parts to play again in 2021. Star Wars The Bad Batch in 2022, and the Book of Boba Fett. So, before the Empire, the Pykes Syndicate was a powerful part of the Sansana Spice Cartel. Former Chancellor Valorum explained to Master Yoda in the Clone Wars their criminal activities allowed them to almost completely control the production of raw spice, used to create a powerful drug. Valorum had sent Jedi Sifos Dyas to stabilize their looming underworld war without the knowledge of the Jedi Council. Years later, searching for more information about what happened to the Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, follow the trails to the Pykes planet Oa Dia. We have no quarrel with the Jedi, Pike leader Lum Pykes told them, as he took the Jedi to the imprisoned advisor that had accompanied Sifo Dyas on his mission. Lum also admitted freely the Pykes were well paid to shoot down their ship. Lum returned the advisor's Silman to the Jedi as peace offering, but the human wasn't in stable state mind. The Pykes are not to be trusted, Silman managed to tell Obi-Wan and Anakin before Dooku arrived to close loose ends. Both the advisor and Lum Pykes died at Dooku's hand. Margs Krim succeeded Lum as the new leader of the Pykes. True to Silman's warning, the Pykes still maintained their uneasy alliance with Maul. They also had connections in the Galactic Senate, who turned a blind eye as their operations grew. Near the end of Clone Wars, the Pykes were firmly established in spice running, and they worked with couriers like Martez's sister to move their cargo. Now, the mines of Kiesels. After the Empire assumed control of the galaxy, the Pykes have struck a deal with King Jaruba of Kessel. They finally had direct control of the spice mines. The Empire provided prisoners, from felons to dissidents, as workers in exchange for valuable minerals. The Pykes Syndicate used hired guns to secure the spice and keep an eye on the subjugated workers. Droids labored alongside the unfortunate slaves in endless shifts and punishing conditions. As the Pykes themselves, the toxic gases of Kiesel and precipitated dust of the spice mines required them to don protective suits from head to foot. Operations were overseen by Quai Tolsite. The director was also responsible for brokering deals with possible traders, which made him Kira's primary target when she and the Millennium Falcon crew put their Kiesel coaxium heist into motion. The Reach expands, even after the loss following Han Solo's infamous Kiesel run. Eventually, the Pykes expanded their operations to planets like Tatooine. On Tatooine, a Pyke train carrying a spice shipment across the Dune Seas was waylaid by Boba Fett after they attacked his Tusken camp. "We thought you were uncivilized raiders. We were trying to protect our route," a Pyke said by way of explanation. After claiming Jabba's throne and position as daimyo, Boba Fett recognized the growing threat the Pykes posed to Tatooine. He gathered the local crime families and asked them to remain neutral in upcoming war against the Syndicate. The Pykes Syndicate are mustering troops in Mos Espa, the former bounty hunter said. "They have slowly absorbed our planet as part of their spice trade. I will vanquish these interlopers who threaten our planet." Boba Fett made good on his promise. The Pykes might have been run off Tatooine, but they continue to expand their criminal influences across the galaxy. Who will be strong or foolish enough to take on with them next? Now you know who the Pykes are, and you get a little bit of idea of the fish-like aliens that trade spices around the galaxy far, far away. This was the Ander Van Zar podcast. If you have any thoughts or any messages that you want to leave me, go check me out on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Or my website, www.andervansart.com. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Sayonara. When you listen to Ander Van Zark, you listen with power. Now, you're listening with power. Ander Van Zark. Stream on every major music platform. Power to the music.